Hello, internet friends. Welcome back. Thanks once again for joining. And today we are going to talk about how bad do you want it? And this is a phrase that gets thrown around a whole lot. I know that Eric Thomas had a speech that has become famous about you have to want success as bad as you want to breathe, and the idea of connecting your drive, connecting your pursuit, connecting the whatever your focus is to something that becomes deeper than just wanting it a little bit. It becomes a need, it becomes something that is actually compared to air and the ability to continue living. That's how deep that gets. But what I really want to talk about is breaking away from the idea of having a pursuit based off of how bad you want something and to move it more towards the idea of continuing a pursuit or chasing a focus or trying to live your passion because you love the process. And the real difference, the real thing that I see anyway, in that separates those two things is if you want something, if you want it badly, that is not necessarily a permanent feeling. That is really linked to your motivation. That is linked to your ability to say, well, I really, in this moment, this is the thing that I want. Where a lot of the times your wants are pretty flippant. They can change depending on your mood, your environment, how you're feeling, what's going on, and your wants are not always consistent. But something that you love, something that you embrace deeply, and get joy from, even the idea of. You don't have to enjoy all the parts of that process to continue to do it. And I'm talking about it specifically with this workout and the next one because this is the two in my week that are less, they're the workouts I don't want to do very often. You know, it's not as exciting. You're not handling as much weight when it comes to the squats. You're doing sets of 7, which is gassing you out, and it's not necessarily what I want to do. It's more of what I need to do to continue pursuing the goals that I have because I love the pursuit. I love the idea of getting stronger and trying to better myself as a person more than I want to do any particular rep range of squats, more than I necessarily want to make other decisions, because those are always going in there. And I'm not trying to say that Eric's wrong in his mentality. It's a very motivational idea to bring it back and say, how bad do you want it? But what I really want to get across is that it has to be about more than what you want in that moment. It has to be more than what you want, because you also have to understand that even if you do everything right, and I've talked about this before, it may not always end up going the way you want it to go. Necessarily the work that you're putting in may not equal the success that you feel like you've earned or deserved, or that it's what you feel like you should have gotten. But if you're really enjoying the process, if you're enjoying the pursuit for the sake of that pursuit with the intention of moving forward and getting better, that is when it kind of ascends the right now. It kind of goes past and becomes bigger than what you're feeling in this moment and what your wants and desires are. And so that's, I think that for me at least, has been really important to really look into and come back to, because it helps me get through these periods where you're going through and you're not necessarily motivated in that moment. I'm never motivated to get through a set of squats while I'm in the squat. It's always just I need to do this, and I love this pursuit so much that I will put myself in an uncomfortable situation, to continue to follow that pursuit, because I care about that more than what I want right now, which is to put this bar down and go eat a cheeseburger or something. And it's the same idea when it comes to your ego, and the difference between lifting for a purpose and necessarily adding things in, or doing them in a way that is kind of just feeding the immediate now. What you want right now, your comfort right now, may not be doing something like here you're seeing I'm doing some overhead presses. I hate this movement. It's not comfortable. I'm not good at it. It does the opposite of feed my ego. It makes me feel like I'm weak. It makes me definitely feel exposed in my own weaknesses. But if I want to continue to improve and I want to continue to get better, this is one of the things that we've put in there with the intention of putting you in an uncomfortable situation so that you can go through it and learn it and grow as a result of that, because the passion, the pursuit is more than just what you want. It's more than just about how bad you want this other thing. It's how much you love the process of trying to get better. And I guess the take home point from this, what I'm really trying to get across, is just a way for you to look at the things that you're filling your life with, and kind of a way to process your own progressions, to your own movement in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and decide if it's worth your time. Is it something that you want because the end goal is appealing to you? Because if that's what it comes down to, if it's all dependent on how bad you want something, that is not as sound or solid in terms of how fulfilling it's going to be, because you're going to go through this entire process. You're potentially going to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and circumstances and have to do things that you don't necessarily like all the time. And if it's only linked to you doing those because you want this thing at the end, because you have this idealized end game that it's all going to pay off and it's going to be there and it's going to be excellent no matter what, that's very difficult to sustain. It's impossible to guarantee, for one. There's plenty of people who have worked as hard as they absolutely can and came up on the other side of things not reaching their goals. That happens anytime, when you think about it, anytime that any professional sports team gets to their highest level and the other team won. It's every Super Bowl, the guys who didn't win that year. It's not like they're not working hard to achieve their goal, but for someone to get their highest level achievement, usually it means someone else has to come in second place, or someone else's dream or vision or goal isn't being fulfilled. And if your idea of placing value on your ability to work through things has come down to this determination of, oh, well, I want it so badly, I'm willing to do anything to get there, you have the potential and you run the risk of putting in a lot of work that you don't enjoy to put yourself in a position that still doesn't guarantee an outcome. You have to love the pursuit. You have to love the process of whatever it is you're doing enough that you're able to put yourself in those situations with the expectation that it may not be fun. This workout right here that you're seeing, these pause deads, these bench presses, everything looked a lot easier than it felt. This is the fourth training day of the week for me. It's always my last of every week. The motivation is always the lowest, but I love the pursuit. I love the grind so much that I want to go and do that, even if it's uncomfortable at the time, even if it's not what I most feel like doing and it doesn't have anything to do with how bad I want to do this thing. It's how much I truly enjoy the the pursuit of trying to get better, the pursuit and the idea and the passion of taking something, setting some goals that you can work towards that are completely within your own ability to put your effort into. You can't guarantee the outcome, but if you love the process, it doesn't matter how bad you want it, because that feeling should be able to keep you going through it. And I guess this is just something to consider in your own lives and what you're doing, and make sure that you're keeping the things that are the most important in your life, making sure those are actually important to you and not something that just comes down to how much you may or may not want something. So I hope this is maybe inspired some thoughts in you guys. I know that it's been on my mind for the last couple of days, and thanks for coming and listening. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below, so go ahead and let me know. Other than that, I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.